both very much. I'd like to now yield myself 5 minutes to ask my questions, and then we'll proceed with those that kind of in order of attendance along with seniority. You mentioned in your Assistant Secretary Jacobson mentioned in your testimony that the administration hoped to conclude negotiations in the Trans-Pacific Partnership expeditiously, and I hope that's the case. Can you tell us, though, how, if at all, will the negotiations for a Trans-Pacific Partnership affect the rules regarding governing NAFTA? And could you submit that in writing and maybe not answer it right now, maybe just submit that one in writing, because I do have a couple of other questions maybe I'd like to get to. What opportunities do you see for greater U.S.-Mexican energy cooperation, and how might the U.S.-Mexico Transboundary Hydrocarbons Agreement on managing resources in the Gulf of Mexico advance that cooperation? And does the Obama administration plan to seek congressional approval of the agreement this fiscal year? And then one other question. I'm concerned that the administration continues to block the full construction of the Keystone XL pipeline when the economic benefits that would result from the completion of the pipeline have been very well supported and just really makes sense intuitively. I really have not seen any overwhelming or compelling evidence that we would face catastrophic climate change as a result of the pipeline, but I have seen evidence that the project will create a lot of jobs at a time when we sure could use a lot of jobs. The State Department is heading the review of the pipeline, so I'm wondering if you could tell the subcommittee where you are in the review process and whether we can expect approval of the project in the very near future. Madam Secretary.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman, and thank you for letting me off the hook on that first part of the question and enabling me to get back to you in writing, since I probably wouldn't have done a terrific job on that one in specifics orally anyway. Let me take the second part of your question on U.S.-Mexico energy relationship, which I think has enormous potential for progress and for exciting cooperation. The Transboundary Hydrocarbons Agreement, which I was in Cabo San Lucas for the signing of last year, really was a breakthrough agreement, not really as much in the what it may permit us to do, which I think is going to be very positive, but in demonstrating to both of our publics that we can work together on energy issues, including on oil issues. This is an area of the Gulf that has long been left unexplored because there wasn't legal certainty about such exploration. And what we were able to achieve with Mexico, I think to the benefit of both countries, is going to be incredibly important. So let me assure you that this will be coming in front of Congress. I hope that we can count on everyone's support, and we hope to do that as expeditiously as possible. Obviously, Mexico did approve the agreement last year, and so we're certainly hoping to do that as quickly as we can. We also think it has enormous potential. I also think the relationship shows enormous potential in non-traditional, non-fossil fuel, renewable areas. There is more and more cooperation on wind energy and cross-border wind energy, which can supply our grid as well. So I think there are a lot of exciting projects going on, areas like biomass, solar, as well as wind. And the Mexicans have great interest in that, and I think there's a lot that we can do together on that front. Finally, on Keystone, you are obviously well-versed in the process. We're in the middle of this process. The next thing that will happen is the environmental impact statement. The supplemental environmental impact statement will be produced. I'm hoping that that will happen very soon, and then we will proceed to the next stage of this process, which is the determination to be made thereafter. So we're hoping that that process will play itself out as soon as possible, but as the process is unfolding, I can't tell you anything about the particulars of it, largely because I'm not involved in the day-to-day of the production of the individual documents that will be part of the process.
Thank you, Madam Undersecretary. Mr. Fierstein, one quick question regarding Haiti. With regards to Haiti specifically, but in general throughout the region, what steps has USAID taken to mitigate the real problem of corruption when dispersing funds? Is there an effective vetting process, and how do you measure the extent to which aid is being siphoned off by corrupt governments, NGOs, or contractors?
Well, thank you, Mr. Chairman. I very much appreciate that question. in Haiti and throughout the hemisphere, we have mechanisms in place to assure that all U.S. taxpayer funds are administered appropriately. And we would not give a dime to any organization in the United States or any other country unless we are assured that they have those mechanisms in place. What we do is we do a vetting process in which we assess organizations, whether it's entities, whether it's a government or an NGO or the private sector. For those organizations that may not have the systems in place, we provide training. But we do understand that as we move toward funding or channeling resources through more organizations overseas, again with the goal of strengthening local capacity and accelerating the process by which they can take care of their own development, that does mean that we need to spend time putting in place those mechanisms, ensuring that all these entities have the appropriate systems in place, and we're confident that we're doing that. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Fierstein. My time's expired. I recognize the gentleman from New Jersey, Mr. Sears.